Greetings, Crocodile Army. You know, I've really come to appreciate this little corner of YouTube over the years. While most of us are atheists, that's about where the generalities end. There are people of every age, race, nationality, and set of interests. A lot of the best videos I see are ones that speak out against generalizing people based on these factors. This just makes it all the more jolting when I see something like I saw on Cult of Dusty's Facebook page the other day. He said, "I have to admit, if you're one of those people who take sports super seriously, I automatically assume you're not that bright." At first it seemed like maybe it was merely a comment about the rare cases of stadium violence or something, but then he clarified the statement by saying his definition of super serious was, if you care about it more than just as the meaningless time killer it is. By that standard, even the most casual fan's intellect is suspect. I think that it's pretty demeaning when someone calls another person's interests meaningless. Even if it's something I'm not into, I would hesitate to characterize someone else's interests that way. This would indicate the existence of an objective measure of what does or does not mean something, and I don't recall Dusty being appointed to be the judge of what has meaning for anyone but himself. As a fellow atheist, I'm sure he's had that meaning of life question posed to him by lots of theists, certainly enough to know better. Greek architecture isn't really my thing either, but that doesn't make it bereft of meaning. It just isn't that interesting to me. I can understand sports being uninteresting to someone too, but if you bother to learn the history of it or understand it, you can see why it would have meaning and appeal to some people, just as I understand the appeal of studying ancient architecture, even though I don't share that interest. Why am I not into that? I can't tell you any more than I can tell you why I like the McRib, even though I know it's weird. In fact, I think I know a lot more people who hate the McRib than hate sports. But nobody chalks that up to a problem with my intellect. In a similar way, I realize some people just don't like sports personally. And if you don't, of course it's no big deal. We may argue about whether sports can ever be interesting or not to you, but I would never tell you that I assume people who aren't interested in sports are more or less intelligent than anyone else. It's far too large and diverse a group to even try to do that with. If you look down on sports as being a purely physical pursuit, rooted in our basest instincts, when you think we should be valuing only the mind, then you probably aren't aware of how much strategy there is in football and many other sports. You need a 1 in thousands level of physical ability and more brain power than you seem to think to have a successful athletic career, but using only your brain is a much more secure path to success, and is the one I chose personally, so I don't begrudge those few athletes their big paychecks. When athletes rise above our expectations or above any feat previously performed, it can be inspiring. Read about sports as it pertained to groundbreakers like Jim Thorpe or Jackie Robinson, or about how it changed Dwight Eisenhower into the leader he was. Is reading books about sports intellectually acceptable to you, Dusty? I actually never would have even bothered to talk about this and just chalked it up to him either trolling or just wanting to spark a discussion if I didn't see the 300 people that liked the status, and comments about how people were happy that they weren't the only ones that feel this way, and agreeing wholeheartedly that sports and those who enjoy them tend to be stupid, though thankfully there was some dissent. Some were even comparing sports to religion, despite the rather obvious lack of magic involved in sports. So, Dusty, now you've given your fans what they seem to feel is validation to look down on the intelligence of sports fans. I think this is a terrible idea, and while chances are good that you don't care about my reasons, I'll leave you with my best one. I think humanity has found more than enough bad reasons to look down on our fellow humans. Do you really need to add another mindless prejudice to the list?